40 stance. So we're going to take a second here and spend some time on how to get you in a good position for a 40 stance. So the first thing you really need to do is figure out what your strong leg is. For me, it's my left leg. I jump better, I'm more explosive off my left leg. So from there, all I have is a line here that we're going to work with. The 40 start is more about comfort. We see a lot of ugly 40 starts out there. We're going to get that triple extension, and then we're going to have that acceleration phase angle as I'm with this side, and this leg's going to be dragging, driving, and then driving back. Remember, that piston action is what we're going for. So in a 40 start, it's not going to be same maybe as a track block start. That's going to be a little bit lower. A 40 start, we don't have the blocks to push, so we're probably shooting for a 45-degree angle, and then we're going to raise up out of that pretty quickly, probably within the first 10 to 12 yards. We're only going 40. When we get down in a position, I don't want to be super tight to the line. You see a lot of coaches do this. Get tight to the line, and then what do? They get here, and the first step they do, they're going to stand up. So for me, as I get down, my left leg's going to be in front, my back leg's going to be behind. A good majority of my weight is going to be on my left leg and my right hand. So understand that my right hand is going to be offsetting to this. So if my other leg's here, it's going to be offsetting out in front, and it's going to be right behind that line. Then I put my hand down, and a big factor here, I got to be able to hold my hand up like this. If I collapse and go down, I'm losing the ability to get myself up higher, because what I'm trying to do here in a second is get my hips just a little bit higher than my arm. If I collapse down, everything's going to go with it, and it's going to mess up. I'm going to have my weight on the ball of my foot. So as I go up right now, if I extend this leg more, so if I'm extended there, I don't get a lot of power. So I need to have that leg bent, but I'm also going to stay on the ball of my foot. So I'm going to work on sinking down, and I'm going to rise up first, and then I'm going to push into that. So get this position, I'm going here. This foot doesn't have that much weight on it. I'm going to go up on this toe, loaded calf, hamstring, glute, quad, and my weight's going to go over the top. So I'm going here. This is a little too high, so I'm going to sink down, and then I'm going to rock forward. Okay? This arm is locked out, and this is where I said I don't care about your comfort. I want your comfort back here, but now we're going to put weight and pressure on that hand. As I get up into that position now, my opposite arm is going to go a couple places. It can go all the way up in the air. We can start it right here. I don't really care where you go as long as your first movement is forward. And get into this position. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to sink and bend and load. And now from here, my shoulders are just a little bit lower than my hips, my glutes loaded, and I'm ready to push and drive out like we'll show you out on the turf. So I'm ready to extend this leg. So what's happening? Three things that are going to be happening here. My left leg is getting that extension. So I'm going to be here, and it's going to extend out. That's why I want it to be the powerful leg, right? We're even going to have a little bit of a flight phase where we point our toe all the way through, and we get that triple extension, ankle, knee, and hip. Our upper body is going to stay a rod then. We don't want to be bent. Big mistake a lot of people make is that here, lean over or bend over or stay low or whatever it is, or lean, lean, lean. So they go here, which I would be a rod, and then they lean. Now we're running like a goof down, and we think we're leaning, and then we stand up right away, but we're not. What I'm focusing on is this leg is exploding out. Three things have to happen at the same time, but if the first one doesn't happen, none of them are going to happen right. That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? They happen at the same time. But the first one is that extension. We have to get that triple extension to allow this leg now to kind of drag through and then drive up. It's not swinging. If it swings, hips move, we stand up. Hips stay in the same anteriorly rotated position, but now we drag, and then we're going to drive. We're going to break that pane of glass, drive through, and guess where we're going? Driving backwards. So we're going to drive backwards, put our force into the ground. Now, extension, drag, drive, and tap. And then what we're also going to do with our arms is rip. I like to give the visualization of my athletes, hey, you're trying to rip your sternum apart. Just rip, rip. And it can be a little bit bigger right away on those first couple steps. And then you're going to come in a little bit tighter with that whipping motion of your arms. Remember, the origin of the motion's coming from the shoulders. So those three things happen at the same time. We're going to set ourselves up for success. The start is about setting up for success. We want to go somewhere. So on the next video, what you're going to see is we're driving. So this knee would be driving, we're extending, and we're pushing back, but we're actually getting somewhere. We're not taking a couple small steps right away. Within 2 or 3 steps, I should be close to 5 yards. If I'm doing that right, I'm getting somewhere. So it's, yes, about the turnover, but it's about the power we put in too, and work on getting somewhere with each step. But all the force has got to be moving backwards. You're not reaching for it. So that's a mistake we make. Hey, got to get way out there. We reach. Guess what? Hips moving underneath us. We stood up. Might as well just start it in a split stance starting up. So there's a lot to think about, and that's why I'm teaching it just right here, not going into the whole sprinting or acceleration aspect yet, and we'll use that on another video. But get that right stance. Find the strong leg, be comfortable, load that leg, get up on your hand, get your hips higher than your shoulders, right? Hips higher than shoulders, bend down, load, and then figure out where you want your arm, and then be prepared to do those three things. Extend out, drag, drive, and tap, and rip those arms. And if you get one step, then now you got to get the next step. Drive up, break that glass, drive back, drive up, break that glass, and then you'll eventually start to rotate those hips underneath, and then that's where we get into those top speed sprint mechanics, working on staying over the top, but really out of the acceleration phase, continuing on, how fast can we get through that 40? So a lot going on, but if you've never learned, that's my goal, is really to just start you out simple, get that. The more you do this drill, the better you're going to get at it, and it's really just, it's for timing, but that's fundamental. We need to learn how to accelerate out efficiently, and if we can get that, that's really going to help us out on the field, the court, or the track.